Hi, this is Dr. Frederick. We're just going to talk a little bit about how to brief a case. We'll be briefing a number of cases this week, or this term, and each week you're just going to select one of the cases cited and brief it. Try to pick a case that you personally find interesting and like the arguments in. But there's several parts to a case. Once you find one, you're going to see the caption. And the caption is just the name of the case, Dalbert versus Merrill Dow, or something like that. Then you'll find a citation, which is directions for where to find the case published. And so in the law profession, they publish their cases in recorders or big books that give you the volume number, the page number, the edition of the recorder. And anymore, you go online and find a case. We'll look for a case when we get done with this lecture here. You're going to find the author of the case, which is the judge who made the holding, or wrote for the majority. So like in the recent Affordable Health Care Act law that was taken to the Supreme Court, John Roberts wrote the findings for the majority. Then you're going to find the facts of the case, which is a breakdown of what happened to bring the case to trial. Then you're going to figure out the laws of the case, which are the disputes in the matter. We want you to, we're appealing this case because we want you to change it because of this reason. And then you're going to find the opinions published by the judges. And you may just have one opinion, somebody writing for the majority, but often you will have people who want to make sure that their own rationale for the decision is published concurring. Even though they agree with the decision, they want their own rationale published. That would be called a concurring opinion. And then you'll have dissenters, people who say no. It's like the Affordable Health Care Act decision was 5-4, and plenty of verbiage in both the concurring and dissenting opinions. And you want to read those and see what the rationales are, see what your own take is on them. So, when you read a case, you want to know what the facts of the case are. You want to know what the specific arguments are. You want to know what the finding was. You want to understand the reasoning, and you want to understand the significance of the case. So any case, you should be able to say, well, here's what happened. Dusky v. U.S., a guy was arrested for transporting a minor across state lines. He was convicted, and he appealed his decision, saying he wasn't competent to stand trial. He made some arguments about that. The government made counter-arguments. The Supreme Court decided that that the evaluation wasn't appropriate, that there was a standard that should have been applied in his case. They named what the standard was. They gave their reasoning for it. And then the significance of Dusky is that it's the foundational decision for every other competency case that's been brought forward. Dusky is always the baseline. Let's go back. What does Dusky say? You must have this. You must have that. So let's look at how you might brief a case. So here's just one. You're going to write a brief. You can go to Google. I just went to Google here. There's a lot of different websites that show you how to brief a case. But, you're going to start out with naming the parties. Here, so title and citation. Write the facts of the case. Write a paragraph about the issues. What are the decisions? What was their reasoning? You might refer to concurring or dissenting opinions, and then you're going to write an analysis. And the analysis says, I get it. Here's why this is an important case. Here's what can happen with this, and and everything is building up. Okay, so here's a case, the title, here's what happened, what were the issues, why was it appealed, and what was the outcome. Now, one of the things that you're always interested in is what is the scope of this case, meaning where does this case apply? And it's all too often that people think, well, here's a decision and it applies to everybody everywhere. No, it doesn't. We often are looking at Supreme Court cases, and the Supreme Court cases generally say here's a minimum standard that states have to meet. States can go beyond this, as in the issue of competency. For a person to be competent, you must demonstrate these things. You can have greater requirements if we're saying that people are competent, but you can't have anything less. A state finding, Illinois versus somebody, generally just has application in Illinois, but often other states will borrow reasoning and holdings. That's about the 75th time I've clicked that message. Okay. Iowa can't just say, well, Illinois found this, therefore we have to follow what Illinois says. No. There's 50 different state jurisdictions. There's the D.C., which is federal. You have other jurisdictions as well. The federal jurisdiction itself is set up into 11 or 12 different jurisdictions, and sometimes their findings only hold in that jurisdiction. Fifth Circuit, where I live, they have findings that don't necessarily apply to the Fourth Circuit. Okay, so write your brief something like this. This is what I'm going to be looking for. There's many different websites about this, and just go to Google, hit search, see all the different sorts of ways you can do that. Now let's just say, how would you find a case? It's pretty easy to find any case you want. And here, one of the cases we have is Dalbert, or you'll find some colleagues will say Dalbert. But we're looking, here's the Dalbert standard. You can start here at this Wikipedia article. It would help you understand what the Dalbert standard is. We probably don't want Dalbert Chemical Company. Here is the case Dalbert v. Merrill Dow. So this was a civil suit. You have civil suits, you have criminal suits. Criminal suits will have a state name in there, not two parties. And Dalbert was a very, very big case. And you can just keep going on and on and on. Dalbert Tracker is a really interesting site just to show you cases that follow Dalbert, other cases, which is part of your assignment this week. Okay, so then we get into individual names we're not interested in. Let's go back to our first page. And, now I'm looking at the addresses. You probably can't find the case at Wikipedia. But, say, law.cornell, you could find that case. It'll be right there. Now, it's a Supreme Court case. Well, let's just go to first of all, let's just go to Cornell Law. And you see you can get the case here. No charge. Law Finder's gotten kind of hard to use, but you could also just go to, for any U.S. Supreme Court case, you could just always go to the U.S. Supreme Court, and they will have the case there. Okay, and so you can look for cases here at the Supreme Court. You want to put Dalbert in. You'll get a lot of other stuff that you don't necessarily want. You'll have to work around in there. Let's just see if they. You can go by year and find cases, but I'm just going to show you. You can figure this out for yourself. Okay, we're just looking for one case per assignment.